They say you should never go grocery shopping when you're hungry, but what if you're Chuck Norris? We have chronicled his battles with history, with physics, with the very animal kingdom. But legends are not only forged in epic confrontations, they are revealed in the quiet moments, the mundane tasks, the daily grind that we all face, waking up, going to work, paying bills. For us, it is routine. For him, it is a constant, unending series of victories over the ordinary. I am the chronicler, and today we witness the legend. At home, the day begins. For most, with the shrill cry of an alarm clock. But an alarm clock would never dare. Chuck Norris's alarm clock doesn't wake him up. He wakes it up by staring at it until it starts screaming in terror. Chuck Norris doesn't brew coffee. He simply chews the coffee beans, and the water boils out of sheer respect. When Chuck Norris pours milk into his cereal, the milk is already so terrified it's curdled into cheese. He doesn't read the morning newspaper. He glares at it until the paper confesses the news from tomorrow. Chuck Norris doesn't shower. He stands under the water and the water cleans itself. When Chuck Norris shaves, his razor doesn't get dull. It gets sharper, out of fear of being inadequate. He doesn't brush his teeth. His teeth are so hard, they brush themselves. The toothbrush is just there for moral support. When Chuck Norris gets dressed, his clothes iron themselves while still on the hangers, hoping to be chosen. His reflection in the mirror is not a reflection. It's a sparring partner that knows it's about to lose. A morning routine that defies logic. Quick quiz for the comments. Which part of his morning is the most impossible? The coffee, the newspaper, or the mirror? Vote below. Chuck Norris's toast doesn't pop out of the toaster. It leaps out and salutes him. He doesn't have a welcome mat. He has a mat that says, "You've been warned." With the morning conquered, the day's tasks begin. For us, a commute. For him, a reordering of the local traffic grid. Chuck Norris doesn't get stuck in traffic. The traffic gets stuck in Chuck Norris. The cars are too afraid to move past him. When Chuck Norris's car runs out of gas, it continues to run on pure, unadulterated respect. A red light will never stop Chuck Norris. In fact, when it sees him approaching, the red light turns green with envy. He doesn't pay his taxes. He sends the government a blank form and allows them to keep whatever they can earn from it. When Chuck Norris goes to the bank has to ask him for a loan. He doesn't wait in line at the post office. The line forms behind him, even if he's the only one there. When Chuck Norris does laundry, the stains surrender and remove themselves before the wash cycle even begins. He doesn't mow the lawn. He stands on his porch and dares the grass to grow. It never does. This level of efficiency is astounding. If you agree, hit the like button as a sign of respect for his productivity. When Chuck Norris takes out the trash, the garbage truck backs up to his curb and apologizes for being full. He doesn't use a keyboard to type. He tells the computer what to write, and it types it out of fear of being replaced by a typewriter. When Chuck Norris's Wi-Fi goes out, the internet itself sends a repairman to his house with a box of chocolates. He doesn't have a to-do list. He has a "it's already done" list. But life is not all work. There must be time for relaxation, for socializing. For him, these are just different arenas of victory. When Chuck Norris plays chess, he doesn't say checkmate. He just stares at the opposing king until it melts into a puddle of plastic shame. He doesn't go fishing. He stands on the shore and the fish leap into his bucket to surrender. When Chuck Norris goes bowling, the pins don't wait for the ball. They all fall down the second he picks one up. He once entered a poker tournament. He was dealt a hand containing only a single joker and still won the entire pot because the other players were too afraid to call his bluff. When Chuck Norris goes to a restaurant, the waiter doesn't give him a menu. He gives him an autograph book. He doesn't order food. He describes what he wants, and the kitchen ingredients assemble themselves into a meal. It's a social life built on pure intimidation. I'm starting a list. Comment below with one word that best describes Chuck Norris. When Chuck Norris watches a movie, the movie watches him back. He doesn't send text messages. He sends thought missiles that appear directly in the other person's brain. When someone unfriends Chuck Norris on Facebook, their computer self-destructs. As night falls, the world winds down, but for the legend, the day is never truly over. When the boogeyman goes to sleep at night, he checks his closet for Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris doesn't have a bed, he has a charging station. He doesn't dream, he gives nightmares their assignments for the evening. And so, the daily grind is conquered. What we call life is simply the canvas upon which he paints his daily masterpiece of effortless victory. From the first ray of dawn to the deepest shadow of night, the world does not happen to Chuck Norris. The world happens by his permission. If you have made it this far, you are a true chronicler. Prove it. Hit the subscribe button and join our ranks. The archives must be preserved.